Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. You're going to see another team killing video here now. It's a rather unusual one as well. What you're looking at is a 105 LFH18B2, the Fifi or Leffy, depending on your point of view. And this one is under the command of Zin 1983, and it's on the southeast spawn of Empire's Border on an encounter game. Now Zin is going to get team killed by his KV-1S, iAmJosuePapu. There he is, KV-1S. And you're going to see exactly how he's team killed in a while. Zin does get some damage on the enemy. He's moving into a firing position straight away. He's got the 105mm gun, capable of 410 alpha. And quite a fast fire rate as well, 8.2 seconds, 8.02 seconds. Okay, and he's now aiming at the enemy. He's moved over to this unusual position over on the east side. Now you can see that the KV-1S hasn't moved at all from his spawn point. He's still in the cap area, on the spawn point area, because the cap actually is in the center of the map. And there's an enemy there, Hellcat. Zin's dialing in. Just adjusted himself there to change his arc of fire. Okay, that looks right. Rounds out. Yep, he gets 61 hit points of splash from a near miss. Now remember, the splash radius of these shells is only 1.91 meters, so you do have to get them fairly close to get splash. But because it's a Fifi, you can get these shells very, very accurately on target. The 105mm gun was the most produced German artillery gun during the Second World War, and it was a very effective gun. But unfortunately, that hill is getting in the way at the moment, so it's preventing Zin getting good shots on the enemy in the cap. As you can see, it's a rather difficult position, seeing as it is where it is. With those high mountains around, it's very difficult to get good shots on the enemy. Well, we've got a Leopard there, tier 5 German light tank. Near miss. It was close, but not quite there. Rounds out again. This should be closer. Oh, it is! Direct hit. 29 hit points. Takes him out of the game, so he's got his first kill. In fact, I'm afraid that is his only kill of the game. Now, that KV-1S is still in the cap area, or still in the spawn area, I should say. We're looking at an M4. Zin fires, but unfortunately that shell was hit by the, or hit the ground on the ridgeline. He's moving into position again, changing position. He's trying to get shots on the enemy, but unfortunately the scenery on Empire's Border is so tall, it's very difficult to get shots on anything. I think when Wargaming made this map, they made it so that it will be basically Arty safe. There are very few lines of fire that actually work for Arty on this map. Well, he's moved his way down to the gate, to the other side of the gate, and from here he can actually get lines of fire on the enemy coming up towards the gate. Going for the M4. Okay, lining it up, fires around. That was a bit too far ahead. I think he was anticipating the M4 moving forward, and he didn't. Now, I think if you notice on the mini-map, the KV-1S has finally moved, and he's moved down to the gate, and he's actually getting closer and closer to Zin. He's coming up on Zin, and this is what he's going to do. Any second, you're going to notice this, because the reticule's going to start moving about quite massively. Okay, trying to get a shot on that M4, and well, we've just got hit by an M4, an enemy M4, and yeah, now it starts bouncing around, because you can see what the KV-1S is doing is he was using Zin as a human shield, pushing him out into the line of fire and using him as cover, so he's like a human shield for the KV-1S. And that KV-1S, having used Zin and team killed him by pushing him out in front of the enemy, has now, well, he's still there, but he hasn't been penalised for the damage he did. And of course he won't be penalised because basically Wargaming won't take that as a team kill, but it was a team kill because he pushed him into the line of fire. He didn't allow Zin to retreat. He just pushed him forward so that the enemy could kill him and then used his body or his corpse as a shield. Well, their team is winning, and they are going to win because there's only 3 enemies left. And I think we can go to free camera and move forward to see exactly what's going on up here. And you can see the team killer, when he's going after more damage, there's only 2 enemies remaining, a Churchill 7 and their Arty, which I think is an AMX. Yep, it is an AMX 13AM. And we're following the KV-1S. The Churchill 7 just killed our IKV-103. And it looks like the KV-1S is actually receiving fire from the Churchill 7, even though you can't see him at the moment. Well, we've got that replay error, which means you can't actually see your own tank sometimes. There's the KV-1S, and he's just got killed by the Churchill 7. And there's the Churchill 7. So it's a replay error there, not showing the Churchill 7 or not showing the teammate. But the Churchill 7's not going to last very long because there's an M4 coming down to kill him. Unfortunately, we can't see that M4. But of course, the team is actually going to cap out because they've got 2 in the cap. And they've still got, what, 53 seconds to go. The Churchill 7 is engaging the M4. Again, we can't see either of them, but they are there. You can see them on the mini-map. And they are shooting at each other. And the M4's been killed. And we know where the AMX 13AM is now as well. He's been seen over there on the other side of the valley. And it looks like the Churchill is heading up the hill towards the cap to get a reset. And the AMX 13AM is firing at the cap, but of course he can't hit our teammates, so they aren't going to cap out and win. Yep, we can hear destruction going on. So it sounds like the Churchill 7 is somewhere very nearby. And I think he's headed on the way to the cap, but it's all over. They have capped out and the game is done. So it's a victory. But there was that team kill to deal with. Now, let's have a look at the end of battle results. Well, we can see that Zin did get the 1 kill. And if we look at the team scores, we can see that the T-3485M did the best on his team with 1,300 hit points. But the best scorer overall is the Churchill 7 with 1,414 hit points. We can see there's Zin with 90 hit points of damage. And where's that team killer? There he is, just above him, iAmJosuePapu, pushing him out into the line of fire. And you can see no team damage was attached to that KV-1S, even though he deliberately pushed Zin directly into the line of fire, so he was killed by the M4 on the enemy team. So, he is a team killer. And I'm afraid that you can see the end of battle results. We can see that Zin did actually make some profit out of that game, 19,664 credits. He did get a kill after all, and he did earn some XP, 581. But of course, he should have earned a lot more simply because that KV-1S killed him or pushed him into the line of fire. If you use somebody as a human shield and you block them and cause their death, you should have the blame attached to you. But for some reason, the automatic friendly fire system didn't recognize that he was blocked and that this guy was pushing him out into the line of fire to get killed, and so therefore it doesn't attach any blame to iAmJosuePapu. But we know that he is a team killer because he pushed Zin into the line of fire. So be aware of that. If you see this guy and he's on the enemy team and you're in an Arty, do rain as many shells down on him and feel free to make his game absolutely miserable. This guy is an Arty team killer. Thanks for watching.